Hey everyone, it's P4L, and I'm coming back with a new review from Mastermind Creations reformatted line. This is their R-40 Jaguar, the Saboteur. This is their version of the More Than Meets the Eye Ravage, obviously since this is their More Than Meets the Eye line. But here we are with packaging. Very long kind of packaging. I think the artwork is just kind of funny because it's pretty vertical, and he's just in his cat mode or beast mode, very kind of like squat down, and even his tail goes off to the side of the box. So it just seems kind of odd. Anyway, he does have some other pictures, and on the back you get some product images of stuff we're going to see, as well as some of the other accessories he gets, in addition to just the ones that are compatible with the figure itself. So out of packaging we get a number of different things. We get a whole goodie bag of stuff. We get the instructions as well as the plastic stat card. Let's zoom in real quick. Plastic stat card. You can see him with, what's it called? Death's Head, I think. In one of the comics from before. The instructions that double as the comic. We get a whole package of goodies. Sorry, the lighting is making this kind of hard to shoot, but it's actually they usually have these bags of stuff where you just have to cut it open. This is actually sealed, which is kind of nice, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that it was, when I brought out my scissors about to cut this open, I saw that it was resealable. I got a little bit giddy. I don't know why. So he comes with a bunch of different things. Actually, let's get him out of his clamshell as well. In the clamshell, we also get another version of the rifle for Kaon. Not Kaon, Voss, sorry. Voss. Same one that we've got with Nickel. So, let's see here. So you get a lot of different accessories. So the things that you do get are his missiles. Here, let's scooch in a little bit. This figure is a little bit smaller, so we can scooch in just a little bit. You get his missiles, which can peg onto the side here. But before we do that, he also has his little handguns, which you can use in robot mode. And I was actually, I remember talking about these when I had the preview or showing this guy off before, and I was like, I don't know why he can't hold the gun. The peg is really odd. And I realized what I was doing wrong is I thought this was the handle and this was like the trigger. No, this is not at all. This is the way he's supposed to hold it. And the handle, or the way he holds it, is just this tiny little peg right here. So you just peg that part in. And this is like his clip. So, very, very different than I was expecting. But the dual function with this is that you can peg it on to the back of each of the missiles. The missiles are symmetrical, so just be aware of that. You just need to make sure you have it flipped the right way with pegs like so, and then these can store on his legs however you'd like. I guess you can do it down like this for this mode. The big chunky circular pegs there. So those are the features that he has, or accessories he has for his robot mode. He comes with a few different things here for Megatron. He actually has two of these. One of them is actually on my Megatron right now, so I'll show that off in a little bit. There are two of these. These are fillers for his forearms that we got with Tyrantron. And then we also have a new head with an additional helmet. So I forget which series that was from, but he actually has, this is what his head looks like, kind of like, I guess, his hair, once he takes off this helmet, his gladiatorial helmet. And this actually has some accessories. This can fan out. I thought this part could fan out as well, but because this looks like a molded, it looks like an actual working hinge. It is not. It's just a molded detail here. So don't try to pull this up at all. It's actually not supposed to do that. I actually took this part off when I was trying to mess with it. But yeah, some nice little additional features for Megatron. We'll show those off later. And lastly, like I said before, you get the Voss alt mode, gun mode. Same thing we got with nickel. I feel like the colors might be a little bit different. I'm not sure, but something looks different to me, like maybe the pink or something like that, or even the color plastic. I don't have my nickel close to me with this gun, so I'm not really sure. But I do remember that this thing on my nickel slid off all the time. This one is much more snug, so I think they fixed the tolerances there. And then you get an extra handle for the gun. So this is for nickel and her weird handle or weird hand, and then you can push forward on this section to remove it. Tuck this in, and then pull back near the base of the handle, I believe. It's very tight. There we go. And that is, I think, the standard 5mm peg. Neither of which of these can be held by Ravage. So we'll put these off to the side as well. And then finally get into talking about Ravage. Or Jaguar. So this Ravage is from More Than Meets the Eye. He doesn't have like a robot mode. But this robot mode reminds me a lot of the Beast Wars Ravage that we saw from that series. And I think that was intentional. That face sculpt or head sculpt is from More Than Meets the Eye. It's not that kind of almost like Sphinx-like crest that he had in Beast Wars. But I think, even like the guns and just some of the details make him look like that figure. So if you like Beast Wars and you want a Ravage to go on your Beast Wars shelf, I guess this guy could fit the bill there. Although he might be a little too small. And I remember the Beast Wars one, he was really black, like black, when he was like the special ops guy. Anyway, we're talking about that, the lore way too much. Let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. So he has an interesting joint on his neck. So they talk about it in the instructions. So it's actually several hinges. If you store it in like this is what makes him like have that cat-like look in his beast mode. But you can do that, but that looks weird. So what you're supposed to do is pull back on that lower hinge to get this kind of horizontal, that piece horizontal, and then do that. And that way you have his head kind of sitting back a little bit more normally for where a robot would be. Anyway, so he has a hinge here, a series of hinges here, and a ball joint on the head itself, so he can twist and turn. His mouth does open, his jaws. And some painted details. Nice red metallic. Is it metallic? Looks metallic. Red eyes. He has a couple of joints in his shoulders. He has this kind of optional piece here. And then he has a shoulder joint there. Can come out to the side. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. He has this kind of wrist articulation, which is part of, now that I'm thinking about it, does his wrist actually rotate? Yeah, so his wrist is on a ball joint itself, but this whole piece here swivels around for transformation. So you want to keep that kind of tabbed in, and you can rotate that around. Sorry, this little gun piece fell off. Like that. There we go. Let's see, he does have a bit of an ab crunch or upper torso or mid-torso crunch. If you remember with the pet, you could extend his joint for his alt mode. You can do that here too, but it's really tight on this version. And they don't even show that in the instructions, so I don't know if that's needed or recommended. But you can do it, it's just very hard. And because of the feature that we'll talk about later, it's hard to get really leverage on that. So anyway, kind of a detour there. He does have a ball peg waist, so you can go all around and do a little bit of jiggling there. He has a hip swivel and outward hinge here. He also has expandable waist like the pet did as well, so you can do that to make use of that to get a little bit more range. He has a thigh swivel, a knee joint here that can go all the way around, double jointed knees that can bend all the way through, and then a ball peg on the ankle. And I think that's it. Oh, and the toe. He has a toe and an optional heel. I haven't been using the heel, but they do say for robot mode you're supposed to flip out the heel for that added stability. And then lastly, the tail. It's interesting. So he has that same kind of mechanism, but it's basically just frozen in place. So you don't have to split the tails in half, but it has ball joints here. You can actually move this kind of tail cover piece, which is on a peg that can rotate around, and a hinge that can rotate around, so you can get a little more articulation out of that. Son of a gun. Let's just get these out of the way. Oh, no, I need to keep them for transformation. Just to show you I can. But let's go ahead and close that up. And each of these segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 piece segments, if you flip it around, you can see they're all ball jointed as well. So you can get a lot of different poses and curls. You can get like a pig curly Q tail if you'd like. But yeah, that's it for robot mode. Let's show off some, I guess, scale. Let's zoom out. So he is a bit of a tiny figure. I would say he's kind of like deluxe size. Here you can see him with his arch nemesis in the comic, who doesn't do him any favors. Let's see what else we have here. We have him with the pet. Oh, the pet doesn't make sense. I have him in alt mode. Let's bring out Megatron. Or Tyrantron, MMC's Tyrantron. Is there anything else that I can compare with? I guess just so you can get a size feel for the size. You can see him with the Legends class figure. And we'll bring out the pet when we do alt mode comparison or beast mode comparison. Alright, so transformation is super simple on this guy. Zoom in again. The first thing we'll do is just deal with the neck. We'll just pull this out. And as I said before, you want to basically push this forward until it locks in or tabs in softly, and then bring the neck cover down. And then you can get his head. So you can do like a flying neck pose. The arms, you're just going to bring down. That piece that was here, you untab it, rotate that around, and then you're going to want to bring it down. And you want to rotate the fist like so. So it hides kind of in that piece. These the things that we'll also mention are these tabs are pretty short, both for the handgun tabbing as well as this piece that tabs in here. So they get kind of annoying. Optionally, you can rotate around this shoulder piece if you want. I don't know that you really need to, but they do say it's optional. So again, untab here, rotate this around, get this like so. There we go. And the legs, you basically rotate at that knee joint, and then kind of chicken leg him, fold up the heel, and rotate the foot around. Like that, like that, and like that. And again, you could try to extend this. So the playability feature that you have here is you can pull this out and recreate the scene where Tarn rips him in half. This guy rips him in half. I noticed that a lot of More Than Meets the Eye characters get ripped in half. So it's the same kind of feature that they had on, what's it called? Was it? I can't remember that character's name. But one of the wreckers that they did a mold for, he was able to be ripped in half. Not Iron Fist, it was... feels like it starts with a G. Anyway, I don't care. So that's one of the features that he has here. You can obviously swivel these missiles around on that peg, that big peg. And he has basically the same articulation as we showed before, so I don't know when you really need to go through that. Oh, sorry. And they do recommend for this that you expand the waist, the hips. I don't really know that you really want to do that. I kind of like mine a little bit more sleeker as a cat, to have a little bit more of a svelte frame. So I keep mine like that. And like I said, you can extend this, but it's really hard to do because this part pulls out, and I can't get mine. Mine's super tight where I can't bring mine out. But I think it looks really nice. He looks pretty dynamic. You can get the tail to kind of curve around. You can get his body, because his neck has so many hinges, you can get him stretched out. Stretched out and curved around. I think it looks quite cool. Much better than, I think, the pet. So bringing out the pet, I was never really interested in this character that much. And you can see that they are very similar in tooling. Aside from like the tail and these weird pieces on the side here. And like the backpack that was needed to help with transformation, obviously. But you can see this one is extended. If I could extend this one easily, I would show you. But I was only able to do it once. And like I said, it's just really hard because you don't have like the leverage that you normally would need to pull this out. Ow, yeah, there's no way. Because of the fact that this separates here. So yeah, transforming back real quick. There's nothing else to really talk about. Let's just flip these around. Get this down. Same thing here. I'm not even going to bother with this pistol anymore because it's getting obviously very frustrating for me to see it fall off all the time. And these actually have been really pegging really well, but haven't been pushing them in all the way, just because it makes them way harder to turn. But these are very stable. They're very, very tight. Like I could easily just dangle this with these. So don't get the misconception that those are very loose. Bring this around. You'll see there's a tab here that goes into the forearm, underside of the forearm. It's kind of a loose tab. And then you just twist the fist. Same thing on this side. Tab this in, twist the fist. And then all we have to do is deal with the neck. Bring that up. Bring this section up, this down. Cover that up. And there we have Jaguar, again, back in robot mode. So I think this is a cool little figure. Honestly, it's probably not something I would pick up just because I'm not that huge into More Than Meets the Eye, especially now since it's been a while since we've seen Ravage, I think. I haven't been reading The Lost Light and since he got ripped in half. I don't imagine that he's back, but you guys can tell me if he got revived or something like that. The only other thing I wanted to show you guys are the accessories for Tyrantron. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So, like I said, you get these extra accessories. One is the forearm filler. So what that's for is taking that off. And I remember this just being really unsightly. I think I talked about it in my review. So they finally give you an option to fill this in. You just push it in like so. And you're probably like, oh, there's no slot. It's really hard to get out, probably. And I said the same thing. I was like, wouldn't this be really hard, kind of like a permanent thing? So if you wanted to retab the cannons on, wouldn't that be hard? But no, you can actually push either on the front or on the back. Give it a slight push, and you can see it, because of the way it's curved, it makes it really easy to eject. So that's really nice. And the color match is spot on, which is nice. Lastly, the head sculpt. The alternate head, you just go ahead and pull up off the ball joint. No need to unscrew anything. Just pop the other one on. And then this is just for display, just so you can have him kind of showing like he's taking it off or holding it or something like that. But yeah, that's really it. You can use the gun with Megatron if you'd like. But yeah, that's really it for the review. Let me bring out Jaguar again. So yeah, that's it for the review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Very quick one. I guess it's not super quick, but a quick review of this little set with accessories. Alright? If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Like if you remember the name of that wrecker who got torn in half by Overlord that I can't remember. I know I feel like it starts with a G, but I just can't remember who it is. Anyway, if you want to correct me on that, drop me in on the lore. That'd be great. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you guys excited for this Ravage or not? Alright, that's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.